Okay, team, listen up, please. Now, we've had a really good season so far, and I know there's a lot of people out there saying there's no shame if we get beaten to third by Mercedes, but, I really want to beat them. I don't want to have to go to the team principals meeting and see Toto with his smug look and his cool accent, I'll be back. Come on, we can do this. Let's kick some Haas. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. It is the Mexican Grand Prix today. There are 3 races to go. The Mercedes are absolutely flying and we are trying desperately to hold them off for third in the championship. And third as well, let's not forget for K-Mag. He has now moved ahead of Charles Leclerc, and I don't think we're looking at Tyres Perez with 3 races to go, but if we can keep him ahead of Charles Leclerc, that would be very nice. And if we're being super greedy, maybe we could get Logan Sargeant ahead of Ocon and dare we dream Bottas. But yeah, it'd certainly be nice to see if we can move him up a little bit as well. But he's got to stop crashing basically, and he'll be absolutely fine. Now, a few things we've got to catch up on here. Most is to do with the car, or next year's car. If we have a look here, we've had the R&D time reset. Now, we've finished doing research on the underfloor and the front wing. So you'll see over here, we're doing more research, rear wing and underfloor again. I really do believe that the underfloor is so important to the car. So we're going to do a double research on that. One front wing, one rear wing. We did a little bit on the car chassis as well, I think. And when the rear wing research is done, I think what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of research on suspension or something to just to use up the time wisely. So yeah, next year's car is hopefully coming along very nicely. Now, if we go and have a look at our drivers, Sargeant has a development point from last race, and it's only been the 4 days in between, so there's not been too much time for anything to happen. I think what we will do is let's add that into cornering. Oh, and he becomes a 74 rated driver, so well done there, Mr. Sargeant. There's nothing to add for K-Mag. He, obviously being older, is going to develop slower, but Jack Crawford has a development point as well that he's managed to get himself, so let's stick that into control. Gets him up to 65 there, and yeah, everything is going well. Now, staff front, we are coming towards the end of our race engineer Ed Reagan's time with the team. We will try and get a better engineer for him over the off season, but there's no one else there. Oh wait, no, I tell a lie. Simone Resta has a development point, so let's go and stick that into suspension. Equal lowest thing. He's now an 82 rated, what's he, head of aero, technical chief, so that's a good thing, obviously moving forward. And yeah, so that is that. Facilities, we have had the refurbishment of the where is it here? Not this one, of this one, of the weather center, so we're back to full running on that one. So if it wants to rain in Mexico, we'll be ready for it, hopefully. And what I need is something that can do pit strategy for me on those ones, isn't it? You can see it's still a lot of work going on around the factory, or the HQ, I should say. So that is all very good stuff. And yeah, it just pretty much leaves us to go to the race now. Let's have a quick look at what we've got here. The Mexico Grand Prix. We are expecting a wet Saturday, but a dry race, which is potentially going to make qualifying interesting for us. For qualifying purposes, we can see a red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. Sections by speed. Now, we know our car isn't the quickest in a straight line. That front straight is very long, and the sort of side straight there is not the shortest either. So I'm a little bit concerned Mercedes might fly down there, which is obviously going to be a concern. You can see high speed cornering and low speed cornering are basically what we're looking for. It says top speed isn't a big deal, but I feel like it is. That front straight. We can see there pit time loss about 22-24 seconds, somewhere in that range. Not the greatest difference to a safety car, but obviously every second counts. Expected strategies. If you can do a soft hard, then it's a one-stop, isn't it? There's not too many ways around that. Compound performance there, we can see it's not a massive drop-off, but the lap time difference is about a second a lap on a soft, which suggests soft tyres at the end. It might be worth making that extra stop. Last year, we had a podium for Sargeant, of course, his first in Formula 1, and K-Mag down there in 7th. So if we can get double points, if we can get a car on the podium here, and more importantly, if we have a highest finishing Mercedes in 8th, that would all be a very good thing for us this race weekend. Let's go and have a look at our performance targets here. Reach Q2. We want to, so 12th, we should be able to do that. We want to try and reach Q3 if we can, though. Of course, we have been struggling a little bit in qualifying. Finishing position of 12th, we should be able to do that. I suspect the reason for that, now we need one car in the top 14 in the race. for the final 2 of the final 3 races. Then we need 1 car in the top 14 in each of the last 3 qualifying sessions. So again, we should be able to do all of that. But I do think, yeah, well, I think what's happening to us in qualifying as much as anything, all the other teams I think are still have developed their car a little bit longer than we have. Hopefully, what we'll see as the benefit of that is next season we'll get a head start on them. We know that our facilities, when we start the game at Haas, are the worst on the grid. So I fear a little bit that other teams are going to be able to be developing this year's car as well as working on next year's car. So that's next year's problem. Right now, though, the thing is Mexico, and we need to outscore or at least not lose very many points to Mercedes. So there we go, confirmation of the weekend weather. Whether the rain comes for a free practice, of course, or qualifying, we won't know till we do free practice. If it's a dry free practice, chances are it's going to rain in qualifying. I'm going to go get these cars set up, though, and I'll see you momentarily to get these flying laps in. Alright, so free practice is done. It hasn't rained yet, which means it is going to be raining in qualifying. Now, we have a look at how we did. Now, bearing in mind, again, we're using old engine parts that are getting older. Concerning is Mercedes up there in 2nd and 5th with De Vries, who's their reserve, I'm assuming. But if we scroll down, you'll see we are way at the back, only beating 1 Williams on a medium tyre, which is, as I say, a little bit concerning. But Crawford getting closer to Sargeant, which is potentially positive for the future. FP2, again, if we scroll down, we will see K-Mag in 16th. Sargeant again in 19th, and then if we go to FP3, the Mercedes maybe not, half a second, 7/10 of a second off Verstappen. Now, we've obviously been getting our setup better and better as we go. Old engine parts, if we say maybe on the high side of things, but if we improve a second a lap with Magnussen up to about 6/10 of a second behind, we're roughly with the Mercedes. Now, is a second what we're going to be able to make up by putting in the better engine parts? I don't know, and it is raining for the start of qualifying as well. Yeah, I mean, we're about to find out, aren't we? Let's be honest. But it's always just a little bit, it's, I will say misleading, but we don't know where we stand because we've got, everything in. You can see some of these parts are, I'm not even convinced going to make it to the end of the season. I think we're going to have to take a gearbox or use the race gearbox with Sargeant. And we look at K-Mag. Now, K-Mag, I am getting to the point here where I'm thinking, I don't want to say sacrifice a race, but certainly sacrifice a starting position. Is ERS getting down to 53%? Is he going to benefit more? We've seen Carlos Sainz, who took penalties, and he has been way ahead of Leclerc since he's done that. I'm wondering if maybe we look to do something similar with K-Mag, if we might see a big benefit of that. But anyway, I'll do Q1. It's a wet session. If it's getting nervy at any point, the fact that it's a wet session, let's do Q1 together. All right, so we'll just do this high view as the cars come around. We want to see how fast we're going. Now, we're doing 3 time laps. The reason for that, rain has now stopped, so we might be coming in very soon here. But yeah, the reason we're doing that is just because to try and, we don't know when the best running is going to be in terms of weather. And we may have just had it because it is raining again. We are currently sitting 2nd and 3rd. And what would be very, very nice here is if Mercedes can get this run wrong, and they haven't because Hamilton is now 2nd, and kind of find themselves at the back of the grid. We will reconfigure to go again. I think what we'll do, though, is we will just do the 1 lap, potentially, right at the end. Where's K-Mag? And why has Sargeant come in before him? Not quite sure what's happened there. But anyway, yeah, so we'll just do the 1 lap right at the end. And we'll kind of see if the weather conditions look like we might be able to get a dry lap in. Then we can obviously go and do that. Looking at the conditions here, you know what? 3 minutes to go. Are we safe? Do we take a risk? Let's do it. I mean, you only live once, don't you? Let's get a set of soft tyres on. Are we expecting any more rain? We're not expecting any more rain. So it's a big risk. Probably one we don't need to take, to be honest. But we're going to do it anyway. Let's slow this down so I get a chance to get them sent out here. We probably need to send them out fairly soon. Oh, well, I can't see anything now. Are we going to get around? We might be pushing this, you know. I don't think we're going to get there. No, we've not. Oops. Well, let's hope it does. It is dry. Everybody else. So we did the right thing in terms of tyres. Yeah, we're just a little bit slow getting there. And We stayed in. Okay, so that's okay. We would have been first and second. As it is, we're 11th and 13th, but ultimately we've got through. Alright, so we are coming around. It is our second run. First run, as ever, was done on, well, I say a used set of softs. It was the soft we did an outlap on last session. I think what actually threw it off was, I think the AI was a little bit later coming out, possibly, and because lap times were taking longer due to the rain. That I think is what messed it all up. But anyway, we got through. Where you were currently looking is Magnussen in 8th and Sargeant sitting just outside in 11th. Now, we're on board with Sargeant. Magnussen has only done a yellow first sector, which is not ideal, but let's see what everybody behind us is doing, and not much, it looks like. So it is ultimately just trying to get through. Sargeant with 2 yellow sectors. Bottas has not done a faster lap, it doesn't look like, so can Sargeant go and pip him to get into Q3? Yes, he can! And Magnussen will stay 8th. So 2 cars into the top 10. Mercedes also have 2 cars through, though look a little bit quicker than us. By a little bit, I mean up to half a second, a little bit more than that a lap. So, yeah, maybe this is slightly concerning for the race. Alright, so we are coming around to do our second run in Q2. We're currently sitting 7th and 10th, which is okay, but Hamilton has a bit of a dodgy outlap. We're on board with K-Mag, who is 7th. If Sargeant gains anything, then it's a bit of a bonus. Now, while we're waiting, or while we're doing this lap, I do need to thank a brand new channel member, Veliloquent. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, mate. He has found the little join button down below me there to become a channel member. So thank you so much, all the channel members and Patreons. It's really, really touching to get that much support. So thank you. As I've said before, if you enjoy the content and you are able to, it is obviously greatly appreciated. The support financially, I guess, as much as that, is the word, isn't it? But yeah, otherwise, just keep watching those ads for me. We've got K-Mad in 8th, we've got Sargeant in 10th, and Hamilton has gone 3rd. So not ideal. I mean, the question is do we take penalties with K-Mag to try and get a faster car down the straight with a new engine? I don't know what the answer is to that, to be honest. It's a decent starting position, and I'm not sure I'm willing to give that up. Now, if we look at strategy, one thing that we have done is saved 2 sets of soft tyres. So that is potentially a bonus. Do we do medium hard? Or do we do soft hard? And then potentially, if we get a safety car at the right time, or maybe, it looks like it might work out, we can stick a soft on. I think I like that idea for Sargeant. The question, of course, is now K-Mag. What do we do with him? Do we do something similar? And I think I like the flexibility that this gives us, I think, because we can be aggressive if we want to put another soft tyre on at the end, and we've got 2 sets of new ones to be able to do that. But equally, if race strategy kind of calls for it, we can just stay out till the end as well. So yeah, I think I like that on both cars. As ever, we will stick the ERS on, try and make up as many positions before DRS is opened. Those 2 long straights, the front straight and then that side straight, it's going to be difficult to pull away, I think, so when DRS is open. So we'll do this and see how we go. All right, welcome back. Who's Mercedes on the second row? We've got to hope that they're having one of these races where they've got the qualifying pace, but not maybe the race pace, as off we go. Sargeant in 9th. He moved up a spot. There was I think, a penalty to Ocon, who's dropped to the back, so perhaps that is why he has moved up. But looks as though we've got a lot of medium tired runners. Yeah, a few soft tire runners a little bit further back. So we are sort of the most racy of the front runners, as K-Mag puts a move on Perez, it looks like. Can he make that stick? And with the ERS, can he get better traction as well? Looks as though that is going to work out in both of our guys' favour. And K-Mag 5th now is behind the 2 Mercedes. K-Mag, if you want to lock up and take them both out, mate, that would not be the end of the world. But it doesn't look like that is quite going to happen for us. And well, let's see if we can get some more moves done here. We have the tyre advantage right now. Now, the strategy, as I say, the AI tends not to deviate off of the 3 strategies there. That suggests that they're not at any point going or scheduled to use a soft tyre. Obviously, a safety car or something might change that. So we have a tyre advantage right now, and we need to make that count, obviously. But yeah, we'll see if we can. Yeah, we need to. Well, we got to remember too. Although everything is pointing that Mercedes are ahead of us, and it feels like, you know, we're losing. We are actually still ahead of them. So if we can limit damage as much as possible, that is obviously a good thing. We've got both cars ahead of Leclerc as well, which is good for K-Mag to go and get third in the championship, which would be a massive, massive finish for the team. I mean, obviously it's a driver's standings, but if we can get a driver as Haas so up to third in the standings, that would be a very, very nice thing indeed. We'll go neutral on our ERS here right now. Sargeant is now behind K-Mag as well, I just noticed, so excellent stuff from him getting past Perez. And it kind of settles in now, doesn't it, to a DRS race more or less. And if we get them, fantastic. If we just sit here, keep them in sight, then that's maybe not the end of the world either. Whoa, multiple cars have crashed. Okay, I think our guys are both okay. Yes, and it is a safety car. It's too early to do anything with it, but it is a safety car. And let's have a look at exactly what has happened here. It's at the back, is it? It looks as though it's going to be a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo. Yeah, so, whoa, someone's driven in the back of the McLaren. Now, if that's Bottas, that would be good for Sargeant's championship to get him above Bottas as well. Okay, so it was indeed Bottas and Norris are the two cars that are out. Just as you can see, going back to green flag racing, we're on board with Magnussen. Now, I'm not using the ERS here, though I'm regretting that instantly. So let's go back to maybe overtake as opposed to deploy, and see what we can do. If we can get ahead of a Mercedes here, that would be a really nice thing, obviously. It's Hamilton that is directly in front of us right now. So it doesn't look like we've got any moves done early on here. It will be 2 laps, of course, before DRS is opened again. So there's a third DRS there, isn't there? I just remembered. So if we can, yeah, just stay. Oh, we've got Logan Sargeant trying to put a move on K-Mag. We don't really need you doing that, mate. Actually, we can probably take you off of overtake because the person you're going to try and overtake is your teammate. We don't necessarily want that. And we've just got, look at that, Magnussen up the inside of Hamilton. What a place to make the move. And of course, with no DRS yet either, Hamilton can't come back at him. So we have split the Mercedes with K-Mag. Wonderful stuff. So we do now have DRS that is active. So let's see if we can go and get a move done now on George Russell as well, who does not have DRS, I don't believe, to the cars in front. We're just a little bit far back this particular lap. So we'll go back to neutral now. We've got Sargeant, of course, here still lurking. Behind Sargeant is Perez. And so it's a top 6 right now with 1 Ferrari. And, no, top 7, I should say, sorry, with 1 Ferrari in there with the 2 Red Bulls, Mercedes, and Haas's. So this could be a massive race for Sargeant if he can keep it on the track, which is always the caveat, well, for both our cars, to be honest, but especially Sargeant, then we could be on for a good one as Magnussen sweeps around the outside of Russell and goes up to 3rd. Excellent move from Kevin Magnussen. Well, he's using these soft tyres to really good effect right now. And we did see it in front. Let's have another look. It looked like an absolutely stonking move around the outside, inside of course end for turn 2. And the better traction out of turn 3. Russell pinched to the curb and on we go. So K-Mag back to his brilliant best, absolutely flying on these soft tyres, and this is all making me think if there is an opportunity to go onto a soft tyre at the end, we probably want to seriously consider that, don't we? Because it might be our best chance of getting some serious points here, as K-Mag now does the fastest lap as well. He is closing in on this Ferrari on the DRS at the same time. Now, can we... He's right there. He's right there. Come on, K-Mag. DRS open. Can he go and get a move done up the inside? Potentially not quite, but all over the back of this car. And Sargeant just sitting there, lurking, and more importantly, keeping it on the track, perhaps. But let's see what K-Mag can do with a proper run at this Ferrari down the front straight. That is the place we want to try and overtake because we'll get the double DRS down the back, this side straight as well. It's not really a back straight, is it? Here we go. Surely he's got him on toast here. We're burning a little bit more petrol so we can go deeper into turn 1. He's not quite there, is he? Not quite there. Can he get him down this straight? Again, he's got Let's go overtake. Use your overtake. Use your overtake. Use your overtake. Go on, K-Mag. Go on, K-Mag. He has not quite got him yet. But round the outside, good traction with the better tyres. And this should be done. Oh, I'm too excited. It should be done now. He is. And, well, we have K-Mag up to second now with the fastest lap. There goes the Ferrari back, though. Oh, a little bit DRS. He mucked it up into the first part of the stadium section. And, well, the Ferrari just getting a little bit better. And he's going to have DRS to Ferrari as well. So we'll have to live to fight another day on that one. And finally, K-Mag has got past the Ferrari down the front straight, under DRS, late on the brakes. And that's, in the end, relatively simple. Same sort of move he pulled on Russell, really, isn't it? And there we go, double dose of DRS as well. And unfortunately, we've seen Sainz just come back past K-Mag. It's the DRS. You know, our tyres can only take us so far. When you've got a Ferrari with DRS behind you, they're just a little bit too quick still. Oh, Magnussen! He was doing so well, and what's he done? He's just, he's tried to stick it up the inside. I think he has stopped before the tyre barrier, but that is not what we needed. Oh, yeah, no, we have got away with damage. So he's down to 7th, down to 6th as Hamilton has come in the pits. And, oh, it's an own goal, but we've moved Sargeant up to 4th, but that is not what was needed. Now, we have pit stops. The medium tyre runners coming in. Now, are they putting on hards? I'm assuming they must be. They are. So we've actually managed to go longer on our soft tyres. Okay, so we'll ignore this. What we will do is we will go and push on a little bit here with our soft tyres. And hopefully we might even be able to pull off an overcut here. Okay, so Logan Sargeant is in. Let's see where this brings him back out. Now, we're going to have fresher hard tyres, would you believe, despite starting on the softs. And we've come out behind Hamilton and Perez. So that's more or less where Sargeant came in, wasn't it? More or less. We've got K-Mag coming in this lap. So we'll go and have a look and see where he's going to pop out here. If he can come out... What are we looking at in terms of lap times? A 22 compared to Russell 22. So he has been slower. So it's maybe not quite worked out. But we are, as I say, we are going to have the fresher tyres. The key to this is going to be, are we going to still be within the sort of the DRS range? Which I think we might need. Let's see here. Sargeant has gone past, which is where he was, of course, because he had lost time, hadn't he? So K-Mag just pops back out in 10th. So, yeah, well, we'll see how this plays out, I suppose, long term. Verstappen about to come in. We might need to commit to a soft tyre stop relatively early here to push on these tyres if that's what we're going to do. I'll have to have a think about this. Okay, so I'm having a think about this. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at fastest laps. Now, K-Mag still has the fastest lap of the race, despite Verstappen doing a 21.3 second lap. So that means that we're at least going to be 2 seconds a lap faster. It's, what was it, 22 seconds? So 11 laps will make up the difference. We're going to push on these tyres, and we are going to try and come in for a soft tyre somewhere later on in the race. And I'm hoping that by pushing this tyre on, obviously, we should go faster. And then putting a soft tyre on, we should go faster again. If that's going to work out or not, time will tell. But hopefully it does. Alright, now we are having cars coming in for second stops to go back onto a medium, which has put us right now in 3rd and 4th, but actually makes me feel a little bit better about what we're doing here, because what it means is that we're going to have, so not made an extra stop. What we should have done perhaps is put a medium tyre on in this stint if we were going to do this, but you know, it was a bit of a late call on my part. So, oh, and who has spun? It's Sargeant, you muppet, you absolute muppet. Unbelievable. We'll come in this lap then, you.
We can take a look now.
We might as well bring them both in if everybody is coming in anyway. And did K-Mag hit him then? There's no damage to K-Mag's car, so I'm assuming not. But anyway, not ideal. So we'll see how we go. Ocon has had a spin as well, so that's all well and good. But yeah, so it's putting him back to 8th. We've currently got K-Mag there in 3rd, but you'll see the Mercedes are 2-3 seconds a lap faster. So we do need to come in and put these soft tyres on. Hopefully, we're going to fly to the end here and, well, we'll see. Get our fastest lap back for one thing. But let's see what sort of pit stop we do. Now, we are double stacking. There should be a big enough gap there for this to happen without too much of a concern. There goes one in, and the other one is there as well. So that's all perfect. Bit of a longer stop there for Sargeant, which isn't ideal. Oh, and K-Mag is locked up. For Christ's sake, Kevin. Oh, why do I bother? Mercedes are going to finish 2nd and 3rd in this race. And we are just kicking own goals. Alright, multiple cars have crashed. Multiple cars have crashed. Do we get a safety car, which just... Oh, it's one of them, Sargeant.
It's chaos on the track. Let's see what happened there. Now just focus on the...
Oh, Sargeant trying to come back through, and what has he done? Locked up the inside, trying to outbrake Aston Martin on a hard tyre. So he's going to have to come in. He's blown his front wing. He's got a 5-second penalty as well. And we don't even have a safety car to be able to get him back involved. So, yeah, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? Unbelievable. Alright, so K-Mag, if he stays on the lead lap, which he should do, is desperately trying to catch Alonso for 6th, which is to basically get back to where he was before he had his spin and lock up and everything else. Sargeant, annoyingly, he's got the fastest lap, but he's down there in 16th. He's a lap down. This will be his last lap. I don't know that K-Mag is going to quite have what it takes to get Alonso here. He was a second a lap faster, second and a half a lap almost faster last lap. He doesn't have DRS, and yeah, well, you can see we've just started our last lap. Or as Verstappen just started his last lap. How many laps have we got to go here? How do I tell that what lap we're on? So we've got 2 laps to go. Okay, so this might still be on. So we've got a lap and a bit here. Assuming that Verstappen, but that's Verstappen there, so he's a little ways behind us. So this shouldn't be a problem. I'd like to think, having been 2 seconds a lap faster last lap, that we'll get this done nice and quickly here. Come on, K-Mag. At least get us a 6. We've got 2nd and 3rd for Mercedes, which is not ideal. Let's go and use everything we have here down this straight. Get a double dose of DRS. Verstappen's about to win the race. And K-Mag, I think, is about to get himself back up into 6th to salvage something. Now, Leclerc is down in 11th. He is not going to score anything.
Keep it up.
So this is good in that sense for K-Mag's race. What it is not good for is our constructors, because that is... Yeah, I feel like I'm doing my very best to give these guys a strategy that can work for them. And, I mean, how far are we behind? We're 25 seconds behind Sainz. So whether it would have made a difference in the end, we might have been better off just staying with the... staying on the hard tyres. Save ourselves a pit stop, and yeah, I don't know. We probably would have finished 6th and 7th anyway, but got to stay on the track, guys. So there we go. K-Mag up 1 to 6th, which on the surface of things isn't terrible. Yeah, let me know what you think of the strategy. If we'd stayed on the hard, we would have saved 22 seconds, so we would have been a little bit closer. But of course, K-Mag with his lockup, Sargeant just had a bit of a nightmare. He finishes down there in 16th with the fastest lap, which is frustrating because he won't get the point for it, and we could have had K-Mag with the point otherwise. But anyway, Drivers' Championship, we can see that we've moved a little bit further now, 8 points further clear of Leclerc. That's looking very nice for K-Mag. Sargeant, though, doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. He really doesn't. And the constructors, well, we are still ahead, but it's only a 3-point gap now, and I just don't see a way we're going to be able to stop Mercedes here. They are absolutely flying. And have we turned our attention to next season? Maybe a race or two too soon. But anyway, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to say it's not my fault if Mercedes catch. Just the guys have got to keep the car on the track. We could have scored more points there, but yeah, I'm going to blame them. Next up, it's Brazil. Let me know, do we take engine penalties to try and give us a little bit more down the straights? Sainz is a lot quicker than what Leclerc is now, and he did take penalties a few races ago, so I wonder if maybe that might help us. Anyway, take care.